friends, it's Brittany Valadez, and I am so excited to tell you about this book that I received. And yes, I read the entire thing. I also did a little bit of audiobook because, multitasking. Okay, so this is the book right here. It's called Still in the Game by Devon Still. It is a fantastic book, you guys, and I want to let you know that anytime I do a book review, I actually read the book. So it's not me saying, well, it's a good book. It has some cool, no, I read the book. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it in this video. If you're not a reader, get the audiobook because Devon is actually reading it to you. All right, you guys, so if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I really, really do appreciate your likes, subscribes, and of course, your comments. All right, let's get started. Devon Still. Many of you guys know him as a famous NFL player who has a daughter who went through a cancer battle. Before it gets into his daughter's battle with cancer, it actually tells his story, starting from when he was a young boy as all the way up until he is now. He talked about his parents' divorce in the book, and there was one time when he stole a bike, and his dad actually had him put in jail for a few hours, and he learned his lesson. Now, because of that lesson that he learned, he ended up becoming a criminal justice major in college. I thought that was really, really cool. This is what I learned from that. Sometimes God can use your most terrible circumstances or a sin that you've committed and turn your life completely around, and he can use it for his glory. He talked about growing up and when he would go to parties a lot in high school and some in college, he said a lot of times at parties we already knew that by the end of the night there was gonna be a shooting. It's just how it is. And he goes, and I hate it, and he mentioned that some of his friends would end up on t-shirts. Now, if you guys know, there's a lot of us that understand what that means. And if you end up on t-shirts, it can be one of two things. One, it's you lost someone tragically, a friend, and two, you're trying to get a friend out of jail. The second one probably was in jail or is in jail for a reason. The first one is, of course, a tragic loss. Now, he talked about another time where he actually witnessed somebody die right in front of him. He happened to be at a party, and for some reason he explains in the book that he had moved out of the way, or he walked somewhere or something, and if he had stayed where he was at that point in time, he would have been the one that was getting shot. But the point is that he saw someone else die, get shot right in front of him, and he details that in the book. Now, he also talks about his experience when he was in college, in high school first. He actually hurt his leg, and that was a setback for him. And of course, he's worried as he's playing football in high school. He's like, am I going to make college ball? Well, by the time he gets to college, he actually suffered two other injuries that had him sit out for a decent amount of time. What I took away from that was I was like, this guy does not give up. He had 3 major injuries that should have ended his career, but yet he kept on going, and God was like, I'm not done with you, Devon. I'm still gonna use you, I'm still gonna use you. And he also talked about when he was courted by several major universities to go to their university when he was in high school. He goes, people were flying in to meet with him, and most notably Joe Paterno. And he also does talk about the Joe Paterno scandal in the book, which that was a major issue. When he was in college ball, after that, of course, he went to the NFL, and he does describe what it was like for him to deal with the whole draft pick, and when he ultimately made it into the second round draft pick and his number as well. Now, he talks about his dad's being super excited, of course, because he was there with him. He also talked about, having all this money all of a sudden and getting endorsement deals. And then, of course, like most men and most people who, when you're in the spotlight, you're getting all this attention, all of a sudden, like if you're a guy, you're thinking girls, girls, girls. Talked about that experience too, and eventually meeting his now wife. Now, when he was in college, he actually became a father to a daughter named Leah. The poor little girl got cancer, and Devon talks about his time with, being a father, working in the NFL, and having to just be a supportive dad for his little girl. He also goes into detail about how she got sick. He shows the lows of his life because every single one of us, it doesn't matter if you or working a part-time job, or if you're making millions of dollars as an NFL player. Now, his story is so relatable to many because of his experiences that he went through. His daughter, of course, suffering through cancer, and him as the parent having to witness his little girl go through such a tragedy, but also his own personal tragedies of getting hurt, of getting beaten down, of having his parents divorced, experiencing friends getting shot and killed, and all those things. And it shows that tragedies do not discriminate. You could be a part-time job worker making, who knows, $8 an hour, or making something like he was doing, millions. Tragedy doesn't discriminate. But what I love about this book is it shows his very lows, but it also shows his very highs, and it shows his change with his faith over time. As many of us can understand, there's times where we're like, we don't need God, we got this, we're cool, all that stuff. And then God's like, you always need me in good times and bad. So that's what I thought was actually really, really relatable in this book. And through the book, we also see the change in his faith, about how he went from a man being, I got everything, to, being, Lord, I can't do this without you and I need it. And when Devon was going through the time with his daughter, his girlfriend, which is his now wife, was like, hey, we should go to church so you can you can read about their spiritual journey or listen to it in the audiobook and how it changed. And one of the things he mentioned, which, of course, there are many of us out there that are professing Christians, and we're saying, Lord, we're 100% Christian, we're this, but we're still sleeping with our spouses, we're still sleeping with our boyfriends, girlfriends, and we're unmarried, and we're wondering, like, why isn't the Lord blessing us? What's going on? God requires obedience. He wants us to obey him, not because he just wants to be in charge and tell you that you're wrong, because he's like, no, I want you to obey me, because when you obey me, I'm protecting you from so many things, and I also want to give you so many things. And it doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a millionaire, financial genius, or whatever. No. God's like, I need you to trust me. I want you to love me. That's part of this relationship that I want you to have. So he does mention that his girlfriend had said, maybe we should stop sleeping with each other and honor God fully. And he also talks about the reality of that. He said it was hard. It was very hard. And then sometimes, they decided to make that commitment, but sometimes, they would slip. And I'm pretty sure that there's many of us in this video, if you guys are watching right now, who say, I've tried that commitment and I have slipped. So it is a relatable experience, but, as obviously he eventually got married to his girlfriend, and it's an encouragement to us to say, hey, we're going to step up. That doesn't mean we can't. We're gonna fall down, but that doesn't mean we can't step up, get back on that wagon, and keep on going. And I think that is so encouraging for all of us out there. So, as you guys know, eventually his daughter was cleared of cancer, and she's been in remission for a few years now. And oh my gosh, the book, I can't recommend it enough. Alright, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate your subscriptions. Also, have any of you had a similar experience as Devon? Did you maybe lose a family member to cancer or to some illness that kind of rocked your world? Well, I really would like to know your personal story in the comments section below. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day. Until next time, I'm Brittany Valadez, and I'll see you later. God bless.